Hello guys, and welcome to this hip flexor focused class. So hip flexors being this muscle along the front of the pelvis that attaches our legs to our body. Generally becomes quite tight when we do a lot of sitting, hence the position. So sitting in cars, sitting on sofas, it becomes quite shortened and tight. So this class is predominantly focusing on lengthening it, but most people suffer from relatively weak hip flexors because there's not a lot of daily movements that strengthen them. So there's a little bit of strengthening into this class as well. Nothing particularly that you need in terms of props. So hopefully you're feeling good to go. And we will start in child's pose. So if you want to let your knees go about as wide as your mat, big toes to come towards each other, hips nice and heavy down towards the heels, and then walk those hands away. And let your forehead rest to the floor so that you can just let your body find some stillness here. Let the eyes close and bring your focus to the breathing. And just let it move a little more steadily. A full deep breath in. And a full slow breath out. Maybe allow your child's pose to become a little bit more active. Maybe stretch those arms a little further away. Press the hands into the floor to sink your bum that little bit heavier down towards your feet. And as you continue to breathe here, feel that extra width within your rib cage as you inhale. And encouraging a softness, a sinking of the torso with each and every exhale. Take one more as you are here, breathing in. And then on the exhale, let your hands crawl their way off the right side of the mat. So your chest moves towards your right knee. You could leave your hands separate, or perhaps your left hand can hold your right. Give a little pull against it so that left side body feels super long, and keep thinking of sinking that left sit bone towards the heel. Take a deep breath into that left side. And then use the exhale to walk all the way over to the second side. Again, either hands can stay separate or perhaps right hand holds left. Push the sit bone towards the heel and really feel that length in the right side body. A nice full deep breath in. And then exhale. Walk your way back towards center. Hands can then walk all the way in till you're up onto your shins, and maybe just bring your shins a little, or your knees a little closer together. From there, as with a big breath in, circle those arms to the sky, gaze up towards your fingertips. On the exhale, left arm goes forwards and the right arm goes back as you hold this active twist. Try to turn your whole body to face the right hand side as you reach out through both fingertips. Pull that belly in, take another deep breath. And as you exhale, the hand behind you is going to find the floor. You could choose to stay onto the hand or perhaps drop the elbow as the left arm goes up and over as that left side body feels super long. Keep reaching, keep lengthening, inhale. And then exhale, push your way back towards center. Your next breath in sends those hands back to the sky, gazing up. Exhale, right arm forwards, left arm back as we find the second side. Drawing that belly in, make those abdominals find this rotation. Grow a little bit taller, breathing in. On the exhale, left hand or left elbow finds the floor behind you. Right arm goes up and over. Feel like you're pushing that right rib cage to the sky. Long, deep breath in. And then exhale, push your way back all the way towards center, and then just widen your knees again, so ever so slightly wider than your hips. You can either leave your toes untucked or you can tuck them under if you'd like a little bit of a softer variant. Right hand to the heel. As you inhale, lift your bum as you push your hips forward, left arm up and over, half camel. Exhale, sit your bum back down, second side. Inhale, reaching the arm up and over, push the hips towards the front of the mat. Exhale to sit yourself back down. Good. Again, onto the right hand, lifting up and over, squeeze through your glutes, whole front of the body stretching. Exhale as you sit and come back to the left hand, breathing in, sweeping tall. One more each side. Right hand goes down, inhale, lifting up. Exhale to sink down. Last one, left hand, left heel. Lifting, expanding. And then exhale, draw your bum back towards your heels. Hands then come to find the mat in front of you, finding your way into tabletop. And we're going to move through some cat and cow. So inhale, lifting the chest. Sit bones to the sky, gazing up. Exhale as you round, tucking the tailbone and hollowing out the front body. Breathing in, shoulder blades are squeezing together, stretching the belly. Exhale as you round, stretching the back body, tucking the tailbone. Let's take one more. Inhale. And exhale. And then draw yourself back to neutral, taking a very similar shape, but this time right toes going towards the sky. Inhale, heel towards bum, lifting your gaze. Exhale, draw that knee underneath. See if your knee and nose can tap each other or just get as close as you can. Again, breathing in, toes rise, heel pulls in, chest up. Exhale, knee and nose as you dome the upper back. Again, as you inhale, lifting, squeeze those shoulder blades. And exhale as you pull under. Great, this time as you inhale, lift those toes back to the sky. Chest is facing a little forwards. Left hand goes to find that foot behind your back, or at least hopefully does. If you can find that bind, kick it towards the sky. If you can't get it, just keep reaching, make it more active. Kicking that foot nice and strong into the hand, stretching the front of the left chest. Tiger pose. Squeeze those right glutes, right arm is straight and strong. Take one more here, breathing in. As you breathe out, I want you to draw that knee back underneath just as you did. Get as close to your body as you can. I want you to really fight to get that foot out and between the hands. That's going to work your hip flexor strength. Placing the foot between the hands, help it if you need. Stay into this boxy upright lunge, and as you inhale, arms rise to the sky. Now making sure that our tailbone is strongly tucked. Left glutes are squeezing. Top of the back foot presses down against the mat. From there, left hand is going to come to your waist, and I want you to take a little side bend towards your right, but also ever so slightly backwards. So there's just a little bit of almost diagonal off towards the back right corner of your mat. Really keep that tailbone tucked under. That's what's going to make the stretch most effective. Keep that left arm pulling up and away from the rib cage. One more breath. As you exhale, let those hands come back down, returning to tabletop as we take it to the second side. Left toes reach up, heel to bum, breathing in. Exhale, knee and nose, let them tap together under the body. Inhale, lifting, chest rises, gaze rises. Exhale, drawing underneath. Good, last one. Inhale to lift. And exhale as you round. Good, take those toes back to the sky. Take that right hand, see if it can find the foot behind your back. You can tuck the other toes if the balance is proving pretty tricky, and then kick that foot to the sky. I want you to think of this as a very strong pose. Left glutes are engaged to kick that leg a little higher. Strong, big chest stretch on this right side. Keep fighting for it. Keep being strong into this tiger pose. Last breath in. And then exhale. Release the foot. I want you to draw the knee as close to the torso as you can. See if you can get that foot out without lifting the hands. Obviously lift it if you need a little help. Finding this nice boxy lunge. And as you inhale, send those arms to the sky. It's best to have the toes untucked on the back so that you can press down through the sole of the foot. Really tuck that tailbone under. You should already feel that stretch in the front of the right hip. And then left hand to come to the waist, a little bit sideways, a little bit backwards as you take that little lean, making that stretch that little bit longer. Breathing in, stay strong, keep pushing, keep tucking, keep reaching. And then exhale, hands come down to the mat. This time you can go back via tabletop and then tuck the toes, coming into down dog, hips high, thighs pressed back. And if you want to take a little pedal of those legs to let your hamstrings have a little warm up, then any movements that you like here just to let yourself settle. Keep that firm press into the hands to send the body weight back towards the legs, opening into the shoulders. And then finding that stillness in your down dog, maybe a soft bend in the knees, pressing your thighs back with your right leg. As you inhale, lift it to the sky for a three-legged dog. On the exhale, open that top hip, so heel towards bum, turn the pelvis to face the right hand side, but keep pushing into both hands to send the body weight back towards the left leg. Lift that right knee as tall as you can, inhale. As you exhale, guide the leg underneath, maybe knee and nose can tap on the way, and then placing that foot between the hands, help it if it needs, as you drop the back knee down to the floor. Inhale, arms rise up and over. Now really focus on squeezing your left glutes. Lift the rib cage away from the pelvis as you think of the hips going forwards and down. Pressing into the ball of the back foot as though you're in the sprinter's blocks and you're driving the body forwards. Breathing in. Breathing out. Great. Last one, inhale. Now as you exhale, right arm is going to reach forwards, left arm is going to reach back as you start to take a little twist towards the left-hand side. From there, let the left hand behind you, see if it can find your back heel as your right arm goes up and over towards half camel. Now your front leg, you can keep it bent. If you're going to try towards straightening it, I want you to keep the left hip pushing forwards and only allow it to straighten if you can do so without letting your hips push back. So it's half camel, the hips are driving forwards, left glutes are engaged, maybe that right leg is straight if you've got relatively long hip flexors. Hold what you have, breathing in. And then on the breath out, imagine a front crawl like swimming. You're going to reach that left arm all the way forwards, the outside of the front leg. Hands then come together as you take a twist, looking over right shoulder. Remember, those hips are still driving forwards and down. That left hip flexor should still be lengthening. Hold the belly in to give yourself a little extra space to twist. Great, inhale. As you exhale, undo the twist and rise your way out of the sort of depth of that lunge. Untuck the back toes again and press down into the top of that foot. We're going to try a fun little balance onto our shins. It's meant to be fun. It's probably going to be wobbly, but it's also a really great strength and stretch for your hip flexor. So tuck your tailbone under very, very strongly, squeezing left glutes. Keep the front of the left hip flat. Press down into that back foot. Let your arms be like you're on a tightrope. See if you can float this right leg off of the floor in front of you. Give it a few goes if perhaps it didn't work first time. Keeping that tailbone tucked, keep everything nice and strong. See if you can still hold it. Last one, breathe in. And then on the breath out, maybe see if you can bend the knee. Let the knees come back together to kneeling. Hands to the mat as you return your way back into down dog. If it didn't go as planned, maybe see if your second side can be a tiny little bit more successful. Strong deep breath in, all the way back out. Left leg this time, inhale to the sky, three-legged dog. On the exhale, open the hip, heel towards bum, knee to the sky. Keep pressing that chest back towards the right leg. Cock that knee a little bit higher towards the sky, breathing in. And then breathing out, step that foot between the hands. See if it can make it there by itself. Drop the back knee to the floor. Toes can stay tucked under as you inhale, coming into that low lunge. Squeezing right glutes. Almost feel like you're dragging the body forwards, but nothing moves in that back knee. This front right hip flexor is getting very, very stretched here. Find as much length in the front line of the body as you can. Inhale. Exhale. And then last one, breathing in. As you exhale, left arm forwards, right arm back. Start to twist the chest to face the right-hand side. That right hand behind you is then going to see if it can find the heel as the left arm goes up and over. So you might want to stay as I am now with that front leg staying bent. It's also easier for balance. In order to straighten it, I want you to think of left sit bone backwards, but right pelvis forwards so that you can keep your hips on top of your kneeling knee. Keep breathing, inhale, exhale. Now take your last inhale and then think of front crawl like swimming. You're going to come back forwards towards the lunge. Right arm spins round, hooks around the leg as you twist over, looking over left shoulder. Keep those hips driving towards the front line of the mat. Holding nice and steady, breathing in, breathing out. And then last one, inhale. As you exhale, undo the twist, bring yourself upright, untuck those toes. Let's see how that balance goes on this side. Tuck the tailbone, strong right glutes, push down into the foot. And let the body weight slightly lean back, let your arms do whatever is helpful, and see if that left foot can float off the floor. Maybe it's wobblier on this side. Maybe it's stronger on this side. Just see if you can find some balance. Enjoy the challenge. Last breath. And then exhale. Knees come back towards each other, hands to the mat. If you'd like to take vinyasas, now would be a good time to take one. Otherwise, moving your way back to down dog. Nice strong breath in. And all the way out. Let's take one more in case anyone's finishing off their little vinyasa flow. And then exhale. We're going to drop the knees down to the mat. Sit yourself back onto your heels or onto your shins, and then drawing the right foot out. So the right foot's onto the mat. Now making sure your left heel is just to the outside of your sit bone. So it's into the chunky part of your bum rather than onto the sit bone, which can be quite uncomfortable. Hopefully this is a position you can find a little bit of comfort in for a moment. Now, two options depending on how your hip flexors are feeling. I want you to keep your knee rooted, hands placed behind you, and this might be enough. I want you to, just as we did in that balance, tuck that tailbone as if you're trying to take as much weight off of that left heel as you can, but not lifting your bum. You could stay here if you feel you've got a little bit more space to give. You could drop your way down onto your elbows, but keep that knee pushing down, keep that tailbone tucked under as if you're trying to flatten out the front line of the left side of the body. Breathing in, breathing out. Last one. And then step your way all the way back up. Let's kick this right leg out in front of us. I know it's a hip flexor class, but that doesn't mean our hamstrings can't have a moment of attention. With your inhale, think of lengthening your lower back, lower belly. And as you exhale, let yourself fold a little bit further forwards, keeping that nice long flat spine. You could choose to hold the foot if you wish, or just letting your hands rest to the mat. If this is too uncomfortable on your back heel, just take a half split where you're a little bit higher up. Push down through the back of the heel, flex the toes back towards you. Breathing in and breathing out. Great, now from here, we're going to lunge all the way forwards, plant this right foot down. Right hand is then going to circle its way round as we go to catch the foot behind us for a twisted lizard. Now you can either keep this knee pulling in towards you as you draw the heel in, or perhaps you'd like to find a little bit of hip opening on this side. Turn the foot slightly outwards, let the knee roll away from you as you draw the foot in as well. If you have longer hip flexors, more space to move into, you could choose to drop the elbow, keeping that chest turning out towards the right side. Give a gentle press down of that back knee into the mat, and as if you're trying to drag that knee towards the top of your mat, and that should help you feel your hip flexors and quads a little more, if that was even necessary. Great, last one, breathing in. And then breathing out. Release the foot. Be back onto the hands if you otherwise. Step the knee back towards your shins as you come all the way back to seated. Left foot is going to dig out to place onto the mat beside you. Make sure that heel is just on the outside of your sit bone into the chunky part of your bum. Hands go behind. Option to stay here. Tuck the tailbone. Keep the knee planted. Option to go further by reclining onto the elbows. Keep pushing down through the front of the right shin. And as if you're trying to pull your bum off of your heel, finding that big long length in the front of the right side of the body. Inhale. Exhale. And then last one. From there, push your way back up upright. Send that left leg out in front of you. Flex the toes. Option to take half split if you prefer. Hands in front. Think of lengthening through this lower belly, lower back area. Chest stays nice and broad. And push down through the back of that left heel, and that should help that hamstring feel a little bit more stretch. Actively stretching. Long torso, breathing in. Softening, breathing out. And then last one. On the exhale, as you come forward, you might want to take the foot a little further forwards if you know you've got quite a bigger range you can work here. Left hand goes all the way up and over to find the foot, drawing it in. Option to open this left leg by turning the toes out and letting the leg fall away. Also the option of dropping down through the elbow. None of those options necessary if you don't want to. What we're looking for is that stretch in the front of the right quad into that hip flexor where it attaches to the body. And if you want to feel that even more, you're going to press down through the top of that right knee and imagine you're dragging the knee towards your elbow or your hand. Great, last couple, breathing in, breathing out, and then last one. Use the exhale, softly release the foot, return to the hands if you're not already. Knee to go back towards tabletop, and then just slowly bringing your way down onto your belly. Prop yourself up onto your elbows into Sphinx Pose so the chest is nice and proud and you're squeezing lower back, pressing down through hips. We'll finish with a little half frog, so I want you to bend your right knee, similar sort of style. I guess it's all hip flexor stretching. You're going to hold that right foot as you draw it in towards your bum. Making sure you've got that tucked tailbone, you're going to press down through the front of the right hip as if you're trying to squish a little pea that might be underneath your pelvis. If you've got a little bit more range in your shoulders, and when I say a little, a lot more range in your shoulders, you could roll your elbow on top of the foot to allow you to turn it into a push rather than a pull, but not necessary for the pose. You can make this one as big or as soft as you like, perhaps not as soft as you like. It's a very big stretch. Deep breath in. And then softly release. We'll simply switch sides, let the left hand find the left foot in one way, shape or form, giving it that pull or push in towards your bum. More importantly than the way that you hold the foot is the push down of the pelvis. Think of the underside of the left hip and squish it down against the mat. Take your final deep breath in. And then exhale, releasing that foot. Let your knees go about as wide as the mat. Push your way up onto your knees, big toes come together. Sink your way back to child's pose, just where we started. We'll take just a short moment of stillness here. Just watching that nice full breath in as it fills your lungs. And slowly releasing it back out. Just one more like that. Great. From there, walk those hands back in. Find yourself sat back onto the shins. You could take your final breath in to circle those arms to the sky. And your final breath out. Lower them down towards your belly as your chin comes down towards your chest. Well done, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me for this class. I hope those hip flexors are feeling that little bit longer and that little bit more happy. I hope you enjoyed the sequence. Do let me know what you thought of the class by leaving a little comment for me below. And if you'd like some other 20-minute classes, you can find them all in this playlist here. Or if you'd like to have a browse of some longer classes, if you've got a little bit more time on your hands, there's some longer ones in this playlist here. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope to see you back for another class soon.